What is going on, everybody? Chef Gizmo here, and we are back for another video. Now, as you can see, it's just me and Totodile today. Ivy is doing her own thing, but we're going to change it up. Instead of doing any pack openings or booster box breakings, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So, let's get into it. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to be ranking all the Pokemon, all of our favorites. We're going to be picking our favorites. Because, you know, why not? I haven't done something like this one yet. Might as well. So, of course, we are going to start off with Gen 1 and work our way all the way down to Gen 9. And then even do some of this stuff right here. So, let's start it off. Let's get that Gen 1 going. So, normal type. This is a very hard one. Because I do like my Pidgey trio. I do like them. I like my chunky boy Snorlax. Growing up, I used to really like Kangaskhan. So, but I really love Eevee. Eevee is one of my favorite ones. She's always one of the ones I get every single playthrough. So, honestly, I'm going to go Eevee. Fire type, I love Growlithe, but Arcanine's my boy. Water, come on, we got the Squirtle Squad. This one right here is always going to be one of the hardest ones until we get to the later generations, because like the first gens had the best water types, the best one. I mean, come on now, you got the Squirtle Squad. Wartortle, character design, not bad, but then you got my boy Blastoise. Love Blastoise. Psyduck, he was alright. I like Poliwhirl and Poliwrath. Tentacle and Tentacool, I hated encountering them all the time trying to surf. Hated doing that. Of course, we got Lapras, Gyarados down here. Fan favorites. Who doesn't love them? If you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you. But then we got Vaporeon. This is a hard one because I love Vaporeon, but I also love Blastoise. So, I'm gonna go Blastoise. I gotta get my favorite starter from Gen 1 going through right there. Grass types. I'm not going to hit a starter for each one of them. So like I wouldn't do Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, even though that's how some people would do it. I did actually like Bellsprout. Surprisingly, I know, Bellsprout. Growing up, I loved Electabuzz. He was one of my favorite electric types. Anytime I got the chance to get him, I would. Ice types, of course, they only have 5 of them, so I did like Articuno, do like Lapras, and I do like Dewgong. Hate these two. Don't care for these two at all. Jinx can fuck off out of here. We're gonna go with Lapras though. Fighting types. Okay. Do I want to go Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan? Or go with, you know, Mr. Macho Man Randy Savage over here. Like Mankey and Primeape, I really wasn't a huge fan of. Poliwrath, he was a very good one. I did like him. He was pretty hard whenever you go into Johto and you have to fight, was it Chuck, the fighting type gym leader? His Poliwrath was a pretty good character. See, every time I played like Fire Red and Leaf Green, or even if I played one of the older ones, I would usually like alternate between who I got depending on what playthrough. But I have always liked the character design of Machoke. And I find it crazy that Poison has one of the largest groups of this one. So, like I said, I'm not going to choose a starter. Plus, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur really weren't my favorites. Didn't really care for Weedle or Kakuna. I did like Beedrill. Ekans and Arbok. Yeah, they aight. They aight. They ain't the best, but they aight. Nidoran, Nidorina, and Nidoqueen. I like Nidoking better than I like Nidoqueen. Didn't care for these guys. Really don't care for them. Don't care for them. Got my boy Bellsprout over there. I always think of like the old school movie that had the Bellsprout, like him dancing, almost like the Squidward style. Grimer and Muck. Let's see here. We're only on Poison, so I'm not going to choose one of these guys because Gengar, of course, is going to go for Ghost. So I'm gonna put Nidoking here. Ground type. I do like Rhydon. Rhydon, I think, is a really cool character design on it. I think it has one of the better sprites. Yeah, no, this one's not even close on it. Pidgeot. Psychic. Ooh. I love Alakazam. I love Mewtwo. And I like Mew. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on Mewtwo. He was always one of my favorites. I loved getting him. Scyther, of course, for Bug. Who doesn't love Scyther? So we're on what? Rock type now. I didn't mind Kabutops. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Kabutops on that one. Of course, Gengar. There's only one choice for that. I like Dragonite, I like Dratini, but Dragonair had the best design overall out of the trio. Of course, there's no actual dark types in Generation 1, so they have like the little creepypasta style ones. So you got Missingo. I've always liked the Ghost. You got the Substitute Puppet. Looks like Aerodactyl Skeleton. I don't know what these ones are. I'm gonna go with that guy. I like that one. Steel type. They weren't even called steel types at that time either. They were just electrics, I think. Electrics and normal or something like that. I'm gonna go with Magneton. Fairy types. Wasn't a fairy type, but they're gonna classify it with that. I'm gonna go with Clefable. Starter. Yeah, I already know what it is, but since I chose Blastoise earlier, I'm gonna put it as a Squirtle Squad. The gimmick form. Okay, so this is a really good one. So I actually didn't play X and Y or Sword and Shield, so I never actually truly got to play with like the Megas or the Gigantamaxes. But just based off the cards that I do have, I love the look of Mega Gengar. I've used him a lot in Pokemon Go. Love him. I do like the Gigantamax version of Gengar. I did recently pull that from a Fusion Strike pack out of a Walmart Lucario V-Star box. Out of everything. So I was very surprised by that. I like the look of Mega Gyarados. Love me my Mega Blastoise. Of course, you can't hate. As much as I do not care for fire types, I do like the Mega Charizard. Was that one? X, I believe it is. I didn't really like the Mewtwo iterations. I wasn't a huge fan of those ones. Pinsir, I don't know why he got one. He's not that great of a Pokemon. Slowbro, I find it funny that he just looks like a spinning top. Honestly, I'm a go with Blastoise Mega right there. The legendary, since I got Mewtwo over in the Psychic type, I'm not gonna choose him. I did start rewatching all of the OG Pokemon movies, and one of my favorite ones, of course, was Pokemon 2000. I'm gonna get Articuno right there. And then favorite out of all of these guys, you know it's gonna be Blastoise. Easy winner. Okay, Generation 2 Johto. This is where we get my boy Totodile. We already know that he's gonna be the favorite right there. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no questions on it. He's gonna win it. So I like Teddiursa. I like Smeargle. Really didn't care for a whole lot of normals in this one. So I'm gonna go with Teddiursa. Fire types. See, this is the generation I actually really did like the fire type. I liked Cyndaquil. I thought Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion had great designs to them. It was very simplistic, but at the same time, badass looking. But I like Houndoom. Houndoom is really just badass right there. My boy Totodile. There was no questions on that one. Of course, we had to choose Totodile. Chikorita was alright. Didn't really care for these ones. But I'm going to go with Celebi here because I already know who the legendary is going to be. So, we're moving on. Okay, we got Chinchou, Lantern, Pichu, Mareep, Flaffy, Ampharos, Elekid, and Raikou. It ain't gonna be Raikou at the end for the legendaries. I really wasn't a huge fan of like the baby Pokemon either, so that's why I didn't really choose Pichu or Elekid. Ice types, Delibird I always thought was like a legendary Pokemon because for me it was always so hard to try and find him. But of course, growing up, you're like, oh hey, he's not legendary, he's just uncommon. I'm gonna go with Sneasel though, just because I thought it was a decent looking Pokemon. Okay, fighting type. There's only 3. I do like Heracross, so I'm gonna go with that one. Poison type. I gotta go with my boy Puffer over here. Quillfish. Okay. This is where I really started enjoying different types along the way instead of just sticking with, your fire, water, grass, or whatnot. Because Larvitar, that's my dude. That's my little conehead right there. I love Larvitar. Come on, he's got the little goth makeup, the little black eyeliner on. He's a badass. So we're at what, flying types now? See, I would never put Mantine as a flying type. Why it's a flying type, I have no idea. I would have just kept it as a pure water type, but that's just me. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Skarmory. I think Skarmory has a really cool look. We got, Natu, Xatu, Espeon, Slowking, Wobbuffet, Girafarig, Smoochum, Celebi, oh yeah, Lugia, and then the entire alphabet. Yeah, it's only gonna be Espeon on that. There really wasn't a huge selection on that one. Our boy Shuckle over here. Everybody loves a good Shuckle. For Bug though, I'm gonna go with Scizor. Whenever I first saw Scizor in like the TV shows, I thought he was one of the coolest looking Pokemon there was until you start playing and you're like, oh, he's really weak to stuff. Okay, whatever. Rock type. We got Pupitar. I really didn't care for Sudowoodo. Really was not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Macargo. Tyranitar, he gonna be safe for a later category. We got Corsola. I've already chosen, my boy Larvitar over here. I'm gonna go with Shuckle. Ghost type, Mischievous. That's all there is. Same with Kingdra. Okay, Dark type. Already chosen Houndoom, but this is a clear winner. It's Murkrow. Come on now. Nah, I'm just playing. It's Umbreon. So, off to the Steel type. Don't care for Fortress. We've already chosen Skarmory. We've already chosen Scizor. We're going with Steelix. I do like Steelix's design. I think it is a pretty cool looking Pokemon. Like I said, I don't care for the babies. This is the only one that is the exception. If you say no, that is incorrect, you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong. I'm just telling you right now. That is the only exception right there. Togetic. I didn't care for the evolutions of Togepi, but I love Togepi. Marill, whatever, didn't care for Snubbull or Granbull, so we're going for Azumarill. Starter type, it's already going to be Feraligatr. Gimmick form, okay. For me, the only 2 megas I liked from this generation was Houndooms and Tyranitars. I thought theirs was the best looking one. Scizor reminds me of like a robot from Futurama that's going to give you the clamps. Like that's really all it is. Don't care for Heracross's look. Steelix just grew a beard. Ampharos just grew out some majestic hair. So I'm going to go with Tyranitar's Mega Form. The legendary. Yeah. This is the only time I truly loved a fire legendary. Didn't care for Moltres. Really wasn't a huge fan of Groudon, so on and so forth. But Entei, watching the Pokemon movie, the third movie, I loved that one. That was one of my favorite Pokemon movies growing up. Loved it. And of course, the winner, Totodile. Because you are a winner. You are. And that's why you're my favorite. You may not be everybody's favorite, but you're mine. Alright, Generation 3. We are in the Hoenn region. For normal types, I'm going to go with Zangoose. Zangoose I thought was a pretty cool looking one. Just because there's not a whole lot of options for their fire types. Torchic. Okay, we got the water types. Wasn't a huge fan of most of these guys. Like, I loved Swampert, Mudkip, Marshtomp. I liked Lotad, but I didn't like any of the other ones. We got Carvana, not to be confused with the car company here. If I were to go off any of them, it's going to be Walrein. I thought he was a really interesting character design. And this was probably the only game to where I actually like strived to go and get a grass type, because there's only two choices for me. It was Shiftry or Tropius. One of those two was always on my team no matter what. But I'm gonna go with Tropius though, because he could fly around and he was usually my flying one. We got Minun and Plusle, Manectric, Electrike. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Minun. I remember watching the Deoxys movie and seeing them knock over the trash can was it Munchlax? I always remember that scene every time I see them. Okay, so ice types. I really wasn't a huge fan of the Reggies. They weren't my favorite, duo or trio at the time. I've already chose Walrein. Don't really care for cast form. These two are all right, but I'm gonna go with Snorunt. I like the look of Snorunt. I thought he was pretty cool. Here I'm gonna go with so we got Metatype, Metacham, Breloom, Blaziken, Combusken. What is it? Hariyama. Why am I blanking on your name? I totally just blanked on his name. Oh, it's going to come back to me. No, I'm going with Hariyama. Poison type. I chose Zangoose. You gotta love the duality, the rivalry between Zangoose and Seviper. It's perfect. I loved Trapinch. Trapinch and Flygon were some dopeness, but I did like, as ugly as he is, I loved the look of Trapinch. I don't know why. Flying type. Or I chose you. I'm not gonna put, well, I guess that was Gen 3. We're gonna put you on pause for right now. Okay, we're gonna put that one on pause. Psychic type. I love Gardevoir, and I love, Metagross. Which one do I want though? I didn't care for Latios. I always liked Latios better. Jirachi, whatever. The Deoxys ones, Shadow Lugia. I actually never got to play this one. This was my brother Poketrainer Jaybirds. This was his game. And I remember he was doing the battle tower, got all the way to the final one because, he read that, you can get a Cyndaquil or a type, it was Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita, I believe, at the very end. I want to say it was those three that were in that game as like the grand prize, and he did not get it. We don't know what happened, but he never got his Cyndaquil. But I'm gonna go with Metagross. I thought he was pretty badass. Bug types, Armaldo. Loved having him around. Oh, Aggron, hands down. There was no guess on that guy. Ooh. Do I go with my Dusky Boy or do I go with Banette? I'm gonna go with my Dusky Boy. I don't know. There's something about him. I just loved having him around. I was always excited catching Bagon more than having everybody else. Easy, Absol. Who doesn't love Absol? It's a freaking awesome Pokemon. Since we already have Aggron for Rock, I'm gonna put Lairon for Steel. What was that? Fairy type, perfect. Gardevoir, starter. Starter, I'm gonna put for Mudkip. I thought Mudkip was a really, really strong, perfect Pokemon for that. I liked Mawil's design. Actually wasn't a fan of Gardevoir's Mega. It really didn't stick out to me. I don't care for Medicham. Blaziken's is a cool Mega Evolution. Swampert just looks like he's got Roid Rage. Sceptile's alright. I like Sableye with his giant gemstone. Manectric, to me this was a horrible design choice. Glalie pretty cool. See, for me, it's going to be one of these two right here. It's going to be either Banetta or Absols. And the only reason why I'm going to choose Absols is because growing up too, I used to play Devil May Cry 2 all the time. And I forget what her name is now, but the female character that you got to play as, you know, that was kind of like what her angelic or demonic form looked like. For legendary, see, I like Shadow Lugia. I like the look of them, the design choice, but I also love Rayquaza. But I'm going to go with Shadow Lugia. So now we are back to flying. Didn't get Salamence, but I could put Rayquaza here. So that's where we're going to put Rayquaza there. And then we're going to update Bagon to Salamence. Our favorite from this generation. Man, this is a good choice right here. I'm probably gonna put it as Salamence. He was probably one of my favorites. Diamond and Pearl, and then so I originally stopped playing at Gen 5. I got the white version, beat it multiple times, but that is actually where I stopped playing Pokemon, which is very sad. But at the same time, I wish I could have played X and Y, because I think that one would have been a really fun game to play. But I wasn't a fan of seeing Sun and Moon. I don't know why. Seeing Sun and Moon come out, it bothered me like no other. I don't understand it. Here, I'm going to put I'm going to put Munchlax. Fire type. Of course, the chef has to choose the oven. Because why not? Why not? Water type. There's really not a whole lot of choices here. I'm not a huge Shellos or, what is it? Gastrodon. I'm going to put Polion. Grass types. This one had some unique grass types to me. I don't know. The character design on it was a little bit more child friendly almost. So, but I'm going to go with Leafeon. Electric types. It brought Electivire in, and I love Electivire. I think he's a really cool looking Pokemon. Ice types, of course, Glaceon. It's just an awesome looking Pokemon. Fighting, as much as I'm not a fan of the baby Pokemon, I like the look of Riolu better than Lucario, which may be very shocking to some people, but see here we got Drapion, Scorpy, Krogunk and Toxicroak. Don't really care for these two. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm gonna go with Toxicroak there. Ground type. Do I go with Gabite, Garchomp? No, we go with Rhyperior. After playing Legends of Arceus, I actually really enjoy Rhyperior, so we going with him. So now we're on flying type. I'm not a huge fan of any of these ones, but if I'm gonna go for it based off of like the Pokedex entry, I'm going with Drifloon. If you read his Pokedex entry, you know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We got Psychic types. I'm gonna go with Gallade here because I don't care for Mime Jr. Don't care for a little Chingling here. Bronzor or Bronzong. And then I wasn't a huge fan of the Lake Spirits, the Lake Trio. So I'm gonna go with Gallade. Bug types. The most badass looking is Yanmega. We got Rock. I thought Rampardos was pretty cool. Ooh, Ghost. Nope, Dusknoir. I was like, man, Giratina's there, but nope, Dusknoir. Love that one. Dragon types, I'm gonna go with Palkia, because Palkia was actually one of the first Pokemon I ever had gotten to level 100, and he was the only one I would ever use. So I'm going with Palkia. No, Darkrai. He's the Edgelord. So we got Steel now. I'm gonna go with what is that? Is that the? I don't know what that one is. Guess I'll go with Dialga. Fairy type. I'm not gonna choose Mime Jr. Starter. This was also the first gen that I didn't choose water. I actually chose Chimchar. He was the first choice whenever Diamond, Pearl, and then eventually Platinum came out. He was the first choice for me. So I don't know. Lopunny, don't care for that form of it. Gallade, I think, is okay. I don't like its cape. I don't know. It's weird. Abomasnow is just on a complete freaking rampage. Lucario just looks like he dipped his hands and feet and a little bit of his yellow rat tail into red Kool-Aid or something. So I'm gonna go with Garchomp's Mega. And the legendaries, of course, Giratina. I love Giratina. Always been one of my favorite legendaries, especially since it came out. But now here's the hard choice for me, is do I put Giratina as the favorite, or do I put Palkia as the favorite? Because Palkia was what? Psychic? No, Dragon Water. And then Giratina was Flying Dart. Right? Right? Let me double check this. No. Dragon and Dark. So, man. As much as I love Giratina, I gotta give it to Palkia. Palkia was always one of my favorites, no matter what. What the hell? What? Why do I not remember this? Oh, because Black and White 2. See, I didn't play Black and White 2. I only played the first one. So, like, I never encountered this crap here. Never interacted with Meloetta. I'm gonna go with Braviary. Fire type, I'm gonna go with Volcarona. I thought it was a really cool looking Pokemon at the time. Of course, my boy Oshawott. Come on now, how do you not like a Samurai Otter? It's dope. It is awesome. Of course, note of Verizon Wireless, even though that is my carrier, but oh well. I do like Snivy. I think I'm gonna go with Snivy on that one. So now we are on electric types. I'm not gonna go with these guys just because I don't know them. I didn't encounter them. I'm gonna go on my little Franklin here, my Joltik. We got ice. We are not doing this Vanillite, Vanillish, and Vanillux. I hated those ones. Instead, I'm gonna go with Beartic. Fighting types. I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate the Swords of Justice. I do not care for them at all. But also, I'm not a fan of any other fighting types here. So if I absolutely have to, I guess I'll go with Cobalion. Bug types. That one had a cool character design. Oh, wait, not bug type, poison type. Duh. Ground type. I'm gonna go with my Giganto, my Dwarven made Pokemon, Golurk. Flying. Oh yeah, Archeops. I started using him in Pokemon Go and I absolutely love him. He's one of my favorite ones. Gotta go with my wife over here. Got to tell. Bug types. I'm gonna go with Larvesta. I know I chose Volcarona earlier, but I'm gonna go with Larvesta. This is what? Rock type. I'm gonna go with what was this one? Tortuga, something like that. I'm gonna go with that guy. Ooh, we're in the ghosty section. The ghosties. I'm gonna go with Yamask. I like the Pokedex entry on that one. Dragon type. See, I don't mind Hydreigon. I don't mind Judagon. But I like Haxorus. I thought Haxorus was a really cool Pokemon. Bisharp is pretty dope. I liked his character design, but at the same time, I really like Zoroark, so I'm gonna go with him. Now we got Steel. Like I said, I'm not choosing this crap down here. These fucking, freaking robotic stuff. I'm gonna go with Bisharp. Cottony, I guess. My boy Oshawott. Or actually, since I chose Oshawott earlier, I'm gonna go with Samurott. Gimmick form. I guess I have to choose. Dang. I'm gonna go with that Tyranitar Mecha thing. Legends. I don't care for these guys down here. Don't care for the, whatever you want to call it, the land, storm, and air Pokemons. Victini was alright. I think Victini was actually the first mystery gift Pokemon I ever received. So that was pretty cool. Don't care for the Swords of Justice, but I only got white because I loved the look of Zekrom. I thought he was super cool. As much as I love Oshawott, I'm going with Haxorus. Haxorus was always such a cool looking Pokemon to me. Alright, that is going to be it for this part. I am going to have to split this into 2 parts, just because if I don't, it's going to be like an hour and a half long. So until then, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and also hit the bell button. That way y'all are notified of every time a video is uploaded. So until then, peace.